The Pronghorn Sniper. Added with the McShay weapon pack, this sniper follows the trend of the DLC by being completely broken in some way. So what's special about this weapon? Well, not much. For all intents and purposes, it's the same as any other sniper rifle. Except that it's in the secondary slot.
Well, gee, Jen, why does that make the gun broken?
Well, that's because there's a slew of incredibly strong primaries at your disposal, while having what is essentially a primary in your secondary slot. The stats are good enough where it keeps up with the rest of the snipers, you can build it for crits, and you can even go with some fun setups like double sniper or DMR and sniper. This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. With millions of champion combinations and a myriad of tactics you can employ, you'll never get bored taking on raid bosses, dungeon runs, campaign battles, and PvP arena matches. Use my QR code or the links provided to download Raid on your mobile phone or PC. Let's take a look at some of these awesome champions that they have. Gorgorob, an amazing support buffer that can use massive revive on teammates, handy for any party that you've got. And Cleopteryx, a character you can obtain free just from daily logins. She's got a really cool anthropomorphized design that might just awaken something deep inside you. I think what's so cool about Raid is the plethora of available champions and the amount of great teams you can build with near infinite combinations for some really engaging gameplay. This month, there's loads of new content, including new champions, a tag arena update, and loads of events. The main one being a Deliana Chase event, where new and veteran players can get Deliana from the Elves faction for free just by logging in and playing Raid for 7 days between now and July 20th. For all new players, enter the promo code MyDeliana to get your hands on 50 XP brews and a ton of silver. In addition, new players can also get 10 Magic XP, 10 Force XP, 10 Spirit XP, and 3 free champions, Misericord, Tiger Soul, and Romero, all by joining today with the link in the description. So here are the stats of the Pronghorn. The damage profile is in line with the middle tier snipers, same as the Rattlesnake, the R700, and the Repeater 1874. As noted earlier, it's basically on par for the snipers of this archetype, including accuracy and stability. So despite being a secondary, it has very few weaknesses and suffers almost no disadvantages despite the different slot that it's in. It does have a smaller magazine and less total ammo, but I haven't found it to be too problematic. It also sports extremely high concealment, starting at a base of 18 and getting to a potential 22 or 23 with the right mods. For mine though, I didn't need that much, so I fully decked out the sniper for accuracy and stability, and yet it was still concealable enough to get crits. This thing is a monster, and quite honestly, the textbook definition of power creep. So here's my build for today's video. Gonna be going with my tried and true leech setup. My skills, in Mastermind I do have Doc Bags, Jokers with the health skills, and the important thing today is this tree right here. We're going to be going for a Graze setup. Now Graze, dare I say, is essential to almost every sniper build, that and the skills leading up to it, so this is a very important part of the build, can't miss that. Enforcer, I have Bullseye for armor gating, Technician, not much there. I do have crits because the sniper does have really high concealment, so I'm making use out of that. And for my primaries, I am using some Akimbo SMGs, so I did pick up a few Akimbo skills. Not too many, you don't need a whole lot to make Akimbos good. As for how I've modded the sniper, I've actually modded it up the wazoo, so I've put almost everything I could here. Even so, didn't lose out on that much concealment, so that's really nice. I guess I didn't put the magazine. There we have it. Oh, and the Akimbo Heathers as my primary. Alright. Let's see what we got. I'm sorry. Fuck, I'm sorry. I got tripped in my head. I've been playing Destiny again. Okay, so anyway, this sniper is incredibly fucking strong. As I've noted, you're essentially getting a primary weapon as your secondary, for very little downside. I mean, yes, there is some downside, but it hasn't been too bad. The only real disadvantage that this sniper has is that it has a small magazine, only at 5, and a very small total ammo pool at 20 shots. The other sniper of this archetype in the primary slot would have roughly twice that ammo. That being said, the inherent nature of a sniper means you're not actually firing off shots willy-nilly. And because of that, I honestly never felt like I had too much of an issue grabbing ammo back. But I did say a similar thing from my analysis of the LMG from this DLC. And, handy dandy YouTube comments noted that, ammo is actually a bit tight compared to the other LMGs, but because I play solo, it's really easy to get back. I don't have to fight people for it. So yeah, that totally slipped my mind. Maybe this sniper is not quite as self-sustainable as I think it is in average play. All the same though, at least it's not like weapons that have egregiously bad pickup, where it's notable even in solo play, and that I can't sustain myself. So, at least there's that. In any case, that's honestly really the only downside for the sniper. While on the flip side, one of the major advantages it has over most of the other snipers is that it's incredibly easy to build it for crits without losing anything in your build. So, while crits itself is not something I'd place too highly in value for snipers in general, the fact that it can easily build for it does open up your options considerably. For example, in my current build for today's video, I ran with Akimbo SMGs, which are crazy strong weapons that cover most of the weaknesses that snipers have, i.e. bulldozers become a cakewalk. A sniper usually struggles taking one down compared to most weapons, but with some fast-firing SMGs and crits, they'll go down no problem. The right SMGs can also really help you get back ammo if you run into ammo problems. But, let's just say you wanted to stick to the theme of your build. You can also run stuff like double snipers. Because the Pronghorn is a secondary, this opens up your primary slot, meaning you can bring something fun, like a Thanatos with the Pronghorn. Using the Pronghorn for average rank-and-file enemies, then save the Thanatos for bulldozers and the like. It sounds like an incredibly interesting combo. Personally though, I think running double snipers is probably not the best of options, since you'd want to bring a weapon that can round out your capabilities rather than doubling down on your strengths, but also kind of ignoring the fact that there are still some weak points in your setup. I think something more reasonable to attempt is a DMR paired with the Pronghorn. With DMRs, at least they can cover some of the weaknesses of snipers. That is, they got faster damage output, bigger mag and bigger ammo pool, and better bulldozer killing potential. At the same time, these weapons will still benefit from the majority of the same skills that work for snipers, so it's not like my Akimbo SMGs or something where it feels like your skills are going to waste. In that regard, I'd probably recommend using the M308. I'd say it's the perfect candidate for DMR, since it hits hard, it's got plenty of ammo, and you can even make it go full auto for bulldozers. And, if you wanted to, you can still make it concealable enough to work with crits. It's hard, but it does work. After making this video, I actually made a setup with the two, and I could still get 26 detection without having to change my Pronghorn setup, so it's definitely doable. Now, unfortunately, one thing with the DMRs is that they don't work with grays. Now, speaking of grays, I know I mentioned before that I think it's basically essential for running a sniper build on the higher difficulties, but man, I just don't like that perk. I find it very lacking because it's incredibly inconsistent. I mean, I can shoot a guy, and then there's another dude standing right behind him jerking him off, and he won't die. Meanwhile, I'm basically guaranteed to kill every civilian in a 20-mile radius, even if they aren't close at all. Speaking of which, overkill. How hard is it to make grays not work on Sims? Come on, seriously. Stupid ass game for punishing me for using regular fucking skills. Pisses me off. Well, I don't know what it is with grays. When I did my research, all of it was just telling me that grays doesn't have a cooldown and it should be working consistently and whatever, but I know for a fact that it's incredibly inconsistent, and it maybe works like half the time at best. It's just infuriating. I'm sorry. Yes, it's a good skill. Yes, you should use it on sniper builds because it'll increase your proficiency immensely, but I still hate it so much. Well, I think I'm starting to veer off topic here, so you know what? This is probably a good time to call it. I've said what I need to say about the sniper, so yeah. That's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for watching, and fuck you. I'll see you next time.